Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you are wanting? Sort of. An evolving thing. You know that you are the creator of your own reality. You know how that is so? You know that you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and that you are constantly emitting a signal whether you know it or not, and law of attraction is responding to it. So it's good for you to be aware of the signal that you're offering, which means you must be aware of your guidance system, which means you must be aware that there is another part of you that is reflecting a vibration also, which means that the vibration of you and the thought that you are offering is having a relationship with the vibration of the larger part of you and the thoughts that the larger part of you is having about the same thing in the same moment. That when you think a thought, the larger part of you has an opinion, an awareness, a perspective about the exact same thing, and your emotions tell you if there is any vibrational variance between the two. So when you hate someone and you feel that awful feeling of hate, that emotion is telling you that the source within you does not have the same opinion. And you say, that's just weird. Source within me must not have walked in my shoes, must not have read that letter, must not have heard those words. And we say, yeah, heard all of it, just took it differently. Just continue to love anyway. Why would source continue to love when somebody doesn't deserve it? Because from the perspective of source, they always deserve love. And if you choose to not love someone, then you pinch yourself off. Didn't see that one coming. So when people do bad things, and I merely innocently observe the badness that they do, in my choosing to push against them, I cut myself off from source. And we say, the operative words are, you cut yourself off, because source is still there for you. Isn't it nice to know that you have guidance within you that lets you know at all times what your relationship is with that broader perspective? Do you know you have that broader perspective? Do you know it's available to you? You know that even though you're in these bodies, that larger part exists and is aware all the time, interested in this moment, in this powerful moment, where who you are and who you're letting yourself be have the potential of converging, but you hold the power of the convergence. Do you know that? So Abraham, does that mean that source can't love me enough to penetrate my hatred? That's what it means. Because you have the free will to choose whatever it is you give your attention to. You get to think the thoughts you choose to think. There's no negative repercussion in the sense that there is no assertion. You didn't exactly learn that from your parents, did you? Seemed like there were negative repercussions when you disagreed with them sometimes. If they didn't like what you were doing, sometimes they tried to guide your behavior through their words or through their behavior or through withholding of things to you, a sort of punishment. If you don't do what I say, then this bad thing will be your experience. But there's nothing like that in your relationship with Source, because Source continues to love. And if you want to know how you know that, find a reason not to and feel the absence of your allowance of Source within you. And that also is the operative word, your allowance of Source within you. Because no matter what, that non-physical part of you, that source energy part of you, is flowing to you, and you have full access to it. You just have to practice yourself vibrationally into aligning with it. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's so easy to be in alignment with it. When you look around your world or up close at your space and you see something wonderful, it's easy for you to love, isn't it? You just observe a loving or a lovable thing, and you love. And it feels so good that you would like to demand everyone to be just like that. If you would just behave, then I could be the loving being I was born to be. That's what you say to most people. Don't you know you're making me crazy? Don't you know you're making me mad? Don't you know you're upsetting me? Don't you know that if you would behave differently, I would feel better? And we say, yep, we all pretty much know that. You've said it often, but it isn't the way it works, is it? You have to decide that you want to feel good, and you have to want to feel good. Why would you want to feel good? Well, because you want to feel good. But if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would want to feel good because it would mean we are in vibrational harmony with broader perspective. And that not only feels good, it has many, many, many benefits. When you sync up with that broader perspective, you have access to the energy that creates worlds. You have access to impulses and ideas and inspiration. You have access to all of the things that you want. You have access to everything you've ever wanted. You have access to all that you've sifted and sorted to discover. I know I don't want that, I want that. And when you discover something that you want, it is held in a vibrational escrow for you. We call it your vortex. Some people are annoyed with the concept, but it's the way that it is. You've been synthesizing life, and you've been coming to personal conclusions, and you have created a vibrational version of you. A version of you that is happier. A vibration of you that holds many things that you want, who lives where you want to live and looks the way you want to look and lives with who you want to live with. In other words, there's a vibrational version of you that is intact, a vibrational version that always precedes the manifested version. So this gathering is about not only how to hook up with the vibrational version, which you have over many lifetimes, and especially during this one, carved out the specific details of what you want to live. Hooking up with that vibrational version of who you are, not just because you want to have those things and be those things and know those things that you've been looking for, not just because you want the answers to your questions or the solutions to your problems, but because only in that full alignment are you living the way you intended when you came forth into this physical body. You said, I'll go forth and I'll reach for more, and I'll line up with the more that I've discovered, and then I'll reach for more again. And then I'll line up with the more that I've discovered, and then I'll reach for more again. More clarity, more love, more agility, more physical well-being, more mental stimulation, more things that are exciting, more things that are fun, more life experience, more. That's the mantra of this universe. It's why you come again and again and again. It's why you continue to add to, because you know, at least you knew before coming into this physical body, that you are an eternal being and that there is no ending to that which you are, and that this life experience is perfectly established in order to be the perfect balancing off place for you individually and collectively, but personally, to identify new intentions, new desires, new becoming, new expansion. So there is a basis of your beingness. We call it a triad of intentions of freedom and growth and joy. You are so free you can choose bondage. You are so free you can choose thoughts that pinch you off from your resources. You are so free that you can choose thoughts that are life-giving. You are free to choose. No one can think for you. No one can offer a thought for you. No one can vibrate for you, and no one can be your point of attraction. It's you. It's just you. You are so free that you can choose to feel however you want to feel in any moment. Freedom is the basis of your experience. Your quest is joy, because when you reach for moments in time where you feel that rapturous joy, that means you've discovered alignment with the whole of who you are. So that's the most important part for you consciously to be aware in this triad of intentions. If you let your quest be for joy, then you'll always, or most always, be in alignment with the broader part of you. And then, of course, The result of all of this is expansion. You don't have to reach for joy in order to have expansion, because life's going to show you contrast and you're going to continue to expand. But you do have to reach for joy in order to live the expansion that you've discovered. So if you feel negative emotion for any reason, no matter how justified you are, when you feel negative emotion, you're simply not allowing the expansion that you have arrived at vibrationally. And that is, in fact, you don't know it and you don't even want to believe it, but we're going to say it to you anyway. That's the reason that there is a diminishment of joy every single time. The reason you don't feel joy is because you're not in alignment with the whole of you, and that's the only reason you're ever upset about anything. Did you hear that? The only reason that you're ever upset about anything is because you haven't let yourself be what you've come to. No, Abraham, I'm pretty sure that I'm just mad at that guy. I'm pretty sure it's the circumstance that is the reason for my negative emotion. We say it's the excuse you're giving. It's the focus you're choosing. But the reason you don't feel good is because you don't feel good. That's worth writing down. So I don't feel good because I don't feel good. I want my money back. But that really is what's going on. The reason that you feel so angry or so upset or so disenfranchised or so victimized is because you're choosing something right here, right now, that is not allowing you to be in full vibrational alignment with all that you are. And that, we want to choose the most spiritual word we can find, sucks. It's just awful. It's just awful when you are not in alignment with who you are. And that's why you get so animated in your wanting to cast blame. It just feels awful when you don't feel good, doesn't it? It just feels awful. It feels awful because you're denying yourself the wholeness of who you are. You're a diminished part of who you are. You're not fulfilling your reason for being here in this moment. However, we would like to encourage you not to beat up on yourself too much about that, because even in negative emotion, there is value. Because how do you know what you really want? How do you discover who you really are until you taste a little bit of what you don't want? It's part of the deciphering process. So as we are moving forward here today, we want to, if you want to, and you do, because we want you to. No, that's not it. We want to explore more fully the idea, the really law-based idea, that negative emotion is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, because it's a clarifying thing, because it helps you to define more clearly the direction that you're wanting to go. So we've told you everything that we know that matters to you. And now we are eager to chew with you on the nitty-gritty of what's up with you. It is our expectation that this will be a wonderful unfolding, and that together we will experience that expansion. But the best part of a gathering like this is that triad of intentions of freedom and growth and joy are all experienced fully. In other words, here we are free to discuss whatever we choose. Isn't that nice? And expansion will certainly be the result of coming into alignment with the fullest part of you. And that really is our quest as we play together. It's our dominant intent to provide conversation, to guide conversation too, to create a vibrational platform or environment that makes it more likely for you than ever before to come into vibrational alignment with who you are. So there's going to be a lot of conscious, deliberate expansion as a result of the time that we spend together today. What do you want to talk about? You've come with things. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you.